Now at 6 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, a local woman is indicted on multiple felony charges, including mail theft and drug possession.
A man pleads guilty to the theft of a tabernacle from an El Campo church.
Victoria is sounding the alarm on Child Abuse Awareness Month with a special event. There's a way for you to get involved as well.
Well, the heat and humidity will be with us for all of this week. In fact, temperatures are going to really skyrocket, but then the heat index will be felt as well. We'll be talking about that coming up in a moment.
And after sweeping the series against Houston Tillotson, we hear from head coach Stanvonia on what's next for the UHV Jaguars.
You're watching 25 News now at 6. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Shawna Currie.
And I'm Brubaker.
Well, school resource deputies launch an investigation after finding a BB gun at Cade Middle School. This afternoon, Victoria County Sheriff's Office school resource officers got a tip about a possible weapon around 1:40. After talking with several students, they tracked down a backpack and found the BB gun inside. No threats were made and no one was hurt. There are no arrests as deputies are still investigating. A Victoria grand jury has indicted a local woman on charges of mail theft, financial crimes, and drug possession. Prosecutors say 28-year-old Currie Trevino had mail from more than 80 addresses, at least 20 of them containing personal information. She is also accused of forging checks and attempting to use someone else's debit card. Authorities say Trevino was found with less than a gram of methamphetamine. Her trial for all of those charges is set for April 30th. University of Houston Victoria students have mixed feelings about a possible transfer from the University of Houston system to the Texas A&M University system.
And 25 News Now reporter Ray Mosley spoke with some students at UHV to get their thoughts.
State Senator Louis Colcourt, a Republican from Brenham, filed a bill March 12th to transfer the University of Houston, Victoria, to the Texas A&M University system. Numerous Victoria officials and leaders have voiced support of the plan. Senator Colcourt released a statement last week saying under the A&M system, the campus will be able to offer degrees in areas like engineering and agribusiness that are not currently available in the area. UHV computer science student Elo Waduto says he understands the reasoning behind that.
If it's for the betterment of the school, then that's fine. You know, if that's what the school needs to progress in any way, I have no problem with that.
Political science major Eliza Livingston says she has a neutral stance and is watching to see what the legislature decides, but says she sees the positive in more agricultural opportunities that could possibly attract more people.
I'm more curious to see how this will go.
Most of the UHV students we talked with are either for the transfer or undecided at this point. Ray Mosley, KAVU TV, 25 News Now.
The City of Victoria is hosting 2 public meetings to share details on the proposed venue tax that will be on the May 3rd ballot. If passed, the plan would raise the hotel tax from 7% to 9% and add a 5% rental car tax. These would bring in an estimated $11 million towards a $35 million renovation of the Victoria Community Center. The first meeting is going on now at the Victoria Community Center, and we'll have more from that meeting tonight at 10. A second meeting is from 1 to 3 p.m. on April 14th. If you plan to vote on this item or any others in May, here are some very important dates. You must be registered by April 3rd. Early voting runs April 22nd through April 29th. Mail-in ballot applications are due by April 22nd, and Election Day is May 3rd.
The Crossroads weather heats up as March ends.
Yeah, hard to believe we're in April already, but you know, it'd be nice to have some April showers. Let's go to Matt Perez for a look at the forecast.
No, we're not doing any of that. We were going directly into late September kind of weather. It's going to be very hot and very humid. Now, this front looks enticing, but it's the end of it. In fact, it's going to push back up as the strong sea breeze reestablishes itself over our area. This one has a little drier air to the north than what we have, but we're looking for a high heat index for most of this week. There's a little hope on the other side for next week, but not for this one. We'll be talking about wearing the air coming up in just a few minutes. Back to you.
Mac, thank you. Lavaca County's burn ban was lifted this morning. It was lifted because of rain Lavaca County got over the past 24 hours. Residents are warned to still use extreme caution with outdoor burning. Expect some loud noise in Victoria tomorrow. First responders and area churches plan to sound sirens and ring bells at noon. April is Child Abuse Awareness Month. First responder vehicles will park at the Dr. Patty Dodson Public Health Center. This video is from last year's event. Hope of South Texas Children's Advocacy Center, which organizes the event, encourages everyone to set an alarm for 12 noon tomorrow. And all drivers near the Dr. Patty Dodson Public Health Center can sound their car horns at noon. This slogan this year is "Don't be alarmed, be aware" about child abuse. And this brings us to our viewer poll tonight. Will you take part in tomorrow's sound off for child abuse awareness? Your choices: yes, I'll be setting my alarm and honking, or I'll participate in other ways, or I'm unable to participate. Close race there between the middle choice, I'll participate in other ways, at 45%, and I'm unable to participate, 42%. We want to hear from you. Visit crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part, and we'll have the latest results at 10. The Trump administration is pulling back billions of dollars in COVID-19 era funding from local health departments. Victoria County public health officials tell us they will lose less than $500. They closed out one of the grants last year and only had a small amount left to spend on another one. No staff or programming were affected. Texas officials say $877 million in grants to the state have already been canceled by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. A man pleaded guilty to stealing a golden tabernacle from an El Campo Catholic church. 54-year-old Thomas Graham got 5 years probation after pleading guilty to theft in excess of $2,500 in value. The tabernacle was stolen on September 4th, 2023. 29-year-old Jesus Jaramillo of El Campo walked into the church, unbolted the 130-pound tabernacle, and put it in a vehicle. The tabernacle was later recovered in a field near El Campo. Jaramillo pleaded guilty to criminal mischief damage, destruction in a place of worship, and theft last July. He is serving 2 years in state prison.
The Victoria County Public Health Department is reminding residents to register for the State of Texas Emergency Assistance Registry if they will need extra assistance during emergencies. To read this full article, visit crossroadstoday.com. And to see all of our news, remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell to receive a little alert when we upload new news for you. Well, stay with us. Coming up on 25 News now at 6, the Supreme Court hears arguments on whether states can tax Catholic charities, with critics warning of job benefits at risk.
Also ahead, President Trump floats the idea of seeking a third term despite constitutional limits, raising questions over his future plan.
Get ready for the madness. Think you know college hoops? Prove it. Enter the Final Four Frenzy presented by Coastal Bend College. Put your bracket up against sports director Max Williams and weekend sports reporter Ray Robinson. Dribble on over to crossroadstoday.com to enter on the contest page. Win it all and score a family 4-pack with a hotel stay and a round of golf for 2 at Moody Gardens in Galveston. The Final Four Frenzy presented by Coastal Bend College. Brackets lock soon. Enter now.
The Supreme Court takes up a major case debating whether states can tax Catholic charities and other religiously affiliated groups. At the center of the case, unemployment taxes. Critics warn a ruling against these organizations could put over 1 million U.S. workers at risk of losing benefits. It's the first religion-focused case the conservative court has heard in nearly 2 years. Catholic charities and 4 affiliates argue Wisconsin violated their First Amendment rights by denying them tax exemptions. Churches don't pay most taxes, but the court now has to decide if religious affiliated groups should get the same break.
President Trump is raising new questions over whether he's considering running for a 3rd term.
Over the weekend, Trump alluded to some options that he believes could keep him in the White House despite the Constitution's explicit limit on presidents serving only 2 terms. ABC's Christiane Cordero has more.
It's a move that would defy the Constitution. President Trump, 2 months into his 2nd term, says he's considering a 3rd. In a phone call with NBC News, Trump said, quote, "There are methods which you could do it, including having Vice President J.D. Vance run for president, then cede power back to Trump." Trump added that's one approach and that there, quote, "are others too." It's an idea the president and his allies have floated several times before.
I've raised a lot of money for the next race that I assume I can't use for myself, but I'm not 100% sure because I don't know. I think I'm not allowed to run again. I'm not sure. Am I allowed to run again?
The 22nd Amendment of the Constitution states no person shall be elected to the office of the president more than twice. Amending that would require approval from 2/3 of Congress and then ratification by 38 states. Changing the Constitution would be a heavy legislative lift in a narrowly divided Congress and nation. When pressed on Air Force One yesterday, Trump didn't share specifics and didn't respond when asked if he's planning to leave office at the end of his term in 2029.
I don't want to talk about it. I'm just telling you, I have had more people say, please run again. They said, we have a long way to go before we even think about that.
Some Democratic members of Congress accuse Trump of trying to dismantle democracy. Others, including some Republicans, are dismissing his comments as a joke or a distraction. Trump doubled down yesterday, saying he's not joking. Christiane Cordero, ABC News, Washington.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Looking at 83 degrees right about now. For the moment, we have a northeast wind, but it's not going to win out. We're going to have a strong southeast wind by tomorrow. We managed to get up to 86 today. We'll be up to about 88 tomorrow. And yeah, the heat index is definitely going to be in for the week. However, there's some changes on the weekend that's coming up, and we'll be talking more about that coming up after this. Our military hero of the month is Master Sergeant Andy Rosales. It's a traditional Wednesday burger night at the VFW Hall on Lova Street. For generations, veterans, their families, and the community have been coming by to socialize and get a good burger at the hall. But running Burger Night and the community center doesn't happen by itself. It takes volunteers and someone who knows how to lead with a gentle hand.
I think I've been with the VFW like 11, 12 years. Out of those 11, 12 years, 8 of those 11 years, I've been the post commander. I'll tell you what I tell my people here. I really don't do anything. It's the volunteers that are here. All the volunteers that come in and they cook for Burger Night. They run all the burgers. All I do is I talk to some of the people.
As a young man, Andy was careful to pick his MOS, his military occupation specialty.
Be careful when the recruiters, you come up, you tell them you want a certain job. They go, oh yeah, you can have this. Because I told them, I said, you know what? I want a job that's going to put me inside and then go outside also. We've got what you want. We've got what you need. A tactical satellite operator. And this is great. You'll be working inside, or you did work inside in a small hut.
Andy elected to make his military service a 20-year career, and that had some good points and some bad points.
We got called up to go to a, as they called it, a humanitarian mission. Went to Somalia. 2 tribes that were fighting against each other. They had 2 different types of money. There were certain areas that we weren't supposed to go to, but we still rolled through there. It was it was an experience that I try to forget. I didn't like that place. Fair. It was not considered I never considered it a humanitarian mission. I did not, because not the way we're being shot at and everything.
After retirement, Andy moved to Victoria and took another job that pays very well, but in a different way.
I get, as the post commander, I get the kudos, the pat on the backs and everything. But I don't think that I would be the post commander if it wasn't for all the volunteers that we have.
So do you get elected, or how do you run?
You get elected.
So you've been elected for this post 8 years in a row?
Yes, sir. So apparently I'm doing something right. All the brothers and sisters that you had in the service, they know more about you than what your family does. They know what you hurt, where you hurt, how you hurt. They know what you've been through. I've been blessed. I turned 62 years old. As soon as I turned 62 years old, I put my retirement paperwork in, and I retired for a second time. And that's it. So I spend a lot of time here.
For his work in keeping Burger Night going, and more importantly, for engaging with all of our veterans, Master Sergeant Andy Rosales is our Military Hero of the Month. If you know a veteran and you want to tell us about their story, go to our website, crossroadstoday.com/militaryhero. I'm Clovio Perez, 25 News Now. Well, good evening, everybody. While we're looking at heat and humidity, there's a tantalizing little frontal system to the north. Is it going to make it? Well, probably not. It is pretty much stalled. And to the north of it, however, it is a little bit nicer in northeast Texas, but we're getting that old heat and humidity, and it's going to be certainly demanding our attention for the next few days. First storm system right here, moving through the east coast right about now. High pressure giving us that slightly drier air that is in North Texas. And next big storm coming out here. Will it actually make it to our region? Well, it's getting awful late in the season. We'll talk about it in a moment. We're looking at the fog redeveloping overnight because of that return of the Gulf air. And because of that, we're also going to get some cloud cover. So look for some fog early in the morning, and then by late in the mid-morning, it'll burn off pretty rapidly. So just do be cautious, because that's going to happen for Tuesday morning and Wednesday morning as well. Here's the future tracker, and you can see how that cloud deck is all rolling back up here as we start getting back into the humid air that we normally get around here. That's going to be with us for the next couple of days. In fact, the heat and humidity, while we can complain all we want, we really will complain. It's out west, where far west Texas along the Rio Grande, they're going to be looking at heat indexes up in the 105s. You know, almost middle of the summer kind of stuff. Look at these temperatures. Tomorrow 82, and then 88 on Wednesday, 90 by the time we get to Thursday. A little break on Friday, but then a little frontal system comes in on Saturday, and that's going to sort of help us out a little bit for next week. This week, it'll feel like September out there. There you can see how the cloud deck will be sort of in and out over our area, but the moisture is very minimum. We have several systems that are coming out of the Rockies and moving across the plains. That's why our winds are going to be so strong, but we're so, shall we say, our atmosphere is so flat, we're hard to get anything that looks like rainfall here. But yet, while it's stormy and hot and steamy today, what is this? A chance of snow in Amarillo over the coming weekend. Go figure. It's what you call, if you don't like the weather in Texas, just wait a minute, and that's what happens. Looking at cloudy skies, a few sprinkles possibly in the morning hours with all the fog. Otherwise, we'll be cloudy but warm tomorrow, getting up to about 80 degrees. We'll be looking at Cuero area getting up to about 82, 83, and of course partly cloudy by afternoon. 7-day forecast, well, you can see the fog there. We'll also see the gusty southeast winds, of course, pumping all that moisture up into our area. The west coast front that you saw may drag through here Saturday. Little chance of rain. I don't expect anything significant like a big downpour, but that will actually help us with the temperature as we get into early next week. That's your 7-day forecast, reminding everybody we do have a QR code. Love for you to scan that, put Crossroads a day on your phone. And here's Shawna.
All right, thank you, Mac. We are going to send it over to Ray Robinson for sports now. He's in for Max Williams tonight.
Thank you, Shawna. After ending the series in dramatic fashion in a walk-off, we receive a word from head coach Stan Vanoa and more coming up in sports. This past weekend was an eventful season for the UHV Jaguars, ending the series in a sweep against Hudson-Tillotson. We heard from a few players last night, but today let's hear from head coach Jonathan Stavanoa as he talks about the game and what's next for the team.
Man, you talk about defense. It started with Julian Garcia on the mound, mixing it up, throwing his pitches to perfection and keeping them off balance all day long. And, you know, we had his back defensively. I don't know how many great defensive plays we had in the infield and running some fly balls down the outfield. It's, you know, it's a team effort in the end. And, yeah, next week we got a Tuesday game over against St. Thomas and Houston Christian. And then we go to Our Lady of the Lakes in San Antonio. So we're excited to build upon it and see what else we can do and try to extend that streak as long as possible.
All right, Victoria, and we still got some baseball action here today at Riverside, and this time it's the St. Joe Flyers hosting San Antonio Christian, and the game is underway right now as the game began at 5 p.m. The Flyers are currently on a 4-game winning streak after dominating St. Augustine in a non-district game. So can the Flyers replicate the same success in a district game? Find out at 10. We'll have some of the highlights. And the St. Joe Lady Flyers will also be in action at the Youth Sports Complex, taking on San Antonio Christian. And just like the boys, the Lady Flyers are also on a 4-game win streak. The Lady Flyers are also #1 in their district, and that game begins here at 6. I mean, it's going on right now as well, so good luck to the Lady Flyers. And we got a Crossroads softball matchup that was rescheduled due to the rain, but the rain won't be the story today as Bloomington hosted the Ganado Maidens. The Maidens got a few track stars performing tonight, such as the likes of Zoe Ybarra, Lacey Holt, Paisley, all in action tonight. So that game is going on right now as well. And the city of Victoria will be hosting the American Junior Golf Association tournament. The action will be at Riverside Golf Course this weekend, where you'll see young golfers from the ages 12 to 19 with dreams of playing golf on the next level compete in the Golf Invitational. Volunteers are encouraged, so just go to Victoria City's website to find out more under the AJGA section. And this event is here to stay after the City Council renewed its contract for another 3 years. And we here at 25 News Now are getting ready for the Final Four. Sports Director Max Williams will be in San Antonio at the Alamo Dome covering the action, bringing it right here to us. And one of the teams that I believe is a local favorite, especially if you ask Don or Trenton, are the Houston Cougars. They punched their ticket in after beating Tennessee in the Elite Eight Sunday. So the excitement is at an all-time high, which brings me to your sports viewer poll today. Will you, alongside Max, be making the trip to San Antonio? It's just a 2-hour drive to witness the Final Four. Make sure you voice your opinion in our Vote Sports section on our Crossroads Today website. That does it for your sports. Don and Shawna.
All right, thank you, Ray. And we're back in a moment. The youngest person to pass the California bar exam becomes a deputy district attorney. Finally tonight, the youngest person to pass the California bar exam was sworn in as a deputy district attorney. Sophia Park passed the California bar exam at 17 years and 8 months old last year. Her journey began at 13 years old when she started law school while attending junior high. Park graduated high school in 2022 after passing the California High School Proficiency Exam and completed her law degree at Northwestern California University School of Law last year. Now, I think that's fantastic and very smart, that young lady to do that. It takes a lot of brains to pass all those things. But I'm just thinking here, I mean, you just zooming by your high school years.
Well, you do miss out on those growth opportunities.
Well, you do. You know,
I had a hard time junior high, much less law school.
I need to step my game up.
Yeah, it's hard enough for adults or post your early 20s passing law school and getting through it. And
this is a nightmare exam, and she just coasted right through that.
Junior high.
She didn't get to play. Well, she could play with her bicycle after law school. Something like that.
Yeah, she, got bigger
she can retire early.
Well, folks, we are looking at some rather hot and humid weather. Temperatures today, you've probably felt that it was 86. It'll be in the mid to upper 80s all week long. and the winds will be rather strong coming up out of the southeast. So it will be back to that windy, but this time humid stuff until early next week, when a little chance of some slightly cooler temperatures are expected.
So no snow for us, just in Amarillo.
Over the weekend, when that little front comes through here, they're going to have snow in Amarillo after being at 98 degrees. So
Oh my gosh.
go
All over
figure.
the place.
Wasn't that a song, Amarillo by Snowing? Thank you, Mag.
Amarillo by
And
morning.
thanks.
We'll see you back here tonight for 25 News Now at 10. Thanks for joining us.